number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want, might be what you thought. You gotta take that chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition here on the KSN Podcast, episode 16. Man, sweet 16. We gonna keep it going. Yes, and I got some guests coming on tonight. Yes, we gonna talk about these good old Knicks. That's right. That is right. And when I bring them on, I'm gonna bring the first one on first, get a quick story in, and after that, I'm gonna bring the other two. They were guests before. They're coming back on to do another cameo with me and the guys, and we're gonna have some fun with this here on the Curse Social Network. All right. So let me get this person on. Diehard Knick fan, diehard. I mean, let me tell you something. I met this guy. I worked at ShopRite, and he's a guy. He works at ShopRite. He's been there for a long time, supervisor there. And he's a guy that when I don't know, I can't remember how it happened. I'm gonna ask him when he gets on. But man, right away we talked Knicks, and that was it. And shoot, he even got me to some games. He's a season ticket holder. He's been a fan since the late 80s, early 90s. Well, let me start. He's been a season ticket holder since the early 90s, but he's been a fan probably forever. You see the pictures right there. Yo, he even got in the garden. He got his own little feature in the garden, man. Like he got a like some type of like on the wall. They have his picture, and he has a quotes and stuff there. You know he a Knick fan. You know he a for real Knick fan. If you got that in the garden, you know what I'm saying. So I want to give a little shout out and a love to a good friend of mine, former coworker of mine, and a great Knick fan friend of mine. Mr. Greg Armstrong. Let's give a hand for Greg, man. What's up, man?
Thank you. That was quite an intro, Kurt. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
Great
hope I make you cry, Greg.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Greg, man, how you doing? Like I said, I can't remember. I remember when I was working there, and this is 2010. I remember because I was working at ShopRite for like maybe a year, and I'll never forget. We just started talking Knicks. I don't know if I wore something or you wore something, but we just started talking Knicks, and from there, man, it's just we've been talking Knicks for since then. So, yeah,
it's an instant bond. You know what I mean? The orange and blue. You're in New York. That's the team that most people represent. So, as a youngster, when I was growing up in the 70s, my brother was a Knick fan, and he was a big Walt Frazier fan. And we had all the posters of Clyde with the brim hats and the Pumas and everything like that on the wall.
Yeah.
So from there, it just took a life of its own. From the early 70s, I vaguely remember the 73 championship. I remember watching the games on Channel 9. But it was kind of fuzzy because I was real young back then.
Okay.
But I just really just stuck with it. And I was lucky enough to get my season tickets in the 90s, the year that Pat Riley became the coach. I decided, let me get some season tickets. And who knew it was going to be such a tremendous journey?
Going back real quick, started with the Knicks in the 70s. Where you from originally, Greg? And did you play ball growing up?
I did. I played ball. I mean, I wasn't that good. My brother, he was actually he was like a star ball player back then growing up. He used to go in all the tournaments in the Bronx or all over New York City. Okay. He played with he was a baller. We had all these trophies in my living room. My mother, she didn't know what to do with them. There were so many trophies.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much
where
I got the
city you from?
itch for basketball.
Okay.
West Farms, Tremont Avenue area.
Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
know that area very well. Yeah, cool,
yeah.
cool.
So I mean, back then, like we played basketball to keep us out of trouble. It's all sports:
Hmm.
basketball, football, baseball. Whatever you could do to keep yourself out of trouble, that was like a good thing to do. So we were into sports. That was like big for our community.
Got you. And then now you, after that, being around basketball, watching the Knicks growing up. I know Marv Albert was definitely in your living room or wherever you was watching that TV at. But you becoming a season ticket holder. Now, what
Yes.
made you? What made you say I gotta get those season tickets?
To be honest with you, Kurt, I never really imagined that I could afford season tickets. I thought that was something that was exclusive to the rich. And it was just by hunch that when I saw Pat Riley was joining the Knicks, I said, let me call up Madison Square Garden. Let me see if I could get some season tickets. And I called, and at first the demand was so high because everybody was excited because we was getting the great Pat Riley to
Right.
coach the team.
Yes.
So they told me that all the season tickets sold out. But
Wow.
then the person told me, wait a minute, I think I have a cancellation in section 338, which is midway up the arena. And the guy asked me, would you be interested? And at the time, the tickets were $24 a seat. And I mean, back then, I mean, it was affordable, but for me, that was a lot of money. But I was like, yeah, I could do it. Let's go for it. And then after that, the rest was history.
Man, you've been a season ticket holder, what, since the 91 season, 91, 92 season.
91, 92
So
season.
so that's
Yeah.
35 years. That's 35 years, Greg.
Yep.
Wow, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Um, Now we're gonna get a couple other guests on real quick, and then we're gonna get them in, and we're gonna talk Knick basketball. We're gonna get to the history. We're gonna get to the
Okay.
current. We're gonna talk about this playoff matchup coming up with the Hawks. All right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
and these two guys, like I said, they were on before. One is my cousin. Like we grew up watching Knicks, die hard like Knicks. We watching him his house, watching it my house. His
Right,
dad
right, right.
watching it with us. My dad's watching it. You know what I'm saying? And then
Uh-huh.
another good friend of mine is also gonna come on. When I found out he was a Knicks fan, we both battling talking about different Knicks. And it's funny because he always called me, because we all play ball together, and he always called me the 90s two guard. He always say, yo, you got that sweet jumper like Allen Houston. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like he'll tell you that when he comes on. And it's just like he always say, you always got the 90s move. That's all you do, the 90s moves. You come off the screen, just shoot the jump shot. You might do the two little dribbles and shoot the jumper. You just everything. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get these guys on. My cousin John Suttles. Let's get on for Suttles, and then let's get on for my man D, Devon Standard.
What's up, fellas? What's up,
Going on?
fellas?
It's all
What's
good.
going on?
It's a good time to be a Knicks fan.
Knicks,
Yes,
baby.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's stand up, man, for real. I can't wait, y'all. I'm like cringing for Saturday. I'm serious. Like, Greg, are you going to which games you going to? Are you going to the games?
I'm going to one. Right now, I'm committed. I'm going to one. I'm going to all of them in the first round.
Okay.
1, 2.
Okay.
I got tickets to all of them, so
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be in the garden.
Okay. I know some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Some people. They like that. If you could get money for them tickets,
Yeah.
get the money for them tickets.
Yeah, well, but normally, since the price of the tickets got so astronomical high, I like to try to sell at least one game per round to kind of offset the cost.
Okay.
But I'm trying something new. Like one of my friends, he also has season tickets, so we're gonna alternate games where I sell a game and I go sit with him, and then he'll sell a game and he'll sit with me. So that way, he can make a little money, I can make a little money, and we at all the games. So we're gonna try to do this year for the first time.
Oh man, that's gonna work, Greg. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you, man, the price of the tickets now, it's off the chain, man. Dolan is killing us.
Yeah. Go ahead, D. What you got to say?
You've been killing us too. And I ain't been to a game in a minute. You've been killing us too. Jeez.
Yo, D, talk about the Knicks right now. The season wrapped up. Getting ready for the Atlanta Hawks. How you feel about that matchup?
Yeah. I mean, it's not who I would have picked, right? But at the same time, I'm not ducking no smoke from anybody because as far as I'm concerned, I think we could take anybody in the East. If we come correct and come, prepared to do what we need to do. We already know where our bread is buttered at. I think over the last couple of weeks, kind of closing out the season, we've kind of had a pretty good push towards, this playoff run. So the Hawks, we just saw them play a week ago, and I was kind of talking to my brother about the game, and I was just like, yo, the Knicks, they just know how to make things so much more heart palpitating. Like they try to just really, really give you everything that they got in terms of like, yo, you should not be struggling like this. And then a silly play here, the ball bounces there. A guy, hits a half court shot with 0.1 seconds is the difference. And it's kind of just like, yo, like, can we just win a game like regular? Like, do we really got to do all that every single time? So it was good theater leading into the playoffs, and I'm strapped and ready to roll. So hopefully we have a good series.
You say it best. Because I always tell people it's like a heart attack watching the Knicks. Like you don't know what you're gonna get with the Knicks. They always make things interesting. Knicks can have a huge lead, and a team can come back, and it could just be a 1-point game with a few seconds left.
Yep.
They could be down by 20. And then they all of a sudden come back and they just win the game at the end or the last few seconds. We seen that with Boston last year, how they won the 2 games in Boston, coming back from down 20 and under. Or we also seen the Pacers where Halliburton hit that shot. And Greg, were you there when they hit that shot?
Oh man, that was crazy. First of all, my man started hitting all those threes.
Neesmith.
Neesmith,
Yeah.
Hit 1, then 2, then 3. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. This dude is on fire. And then all of a sudden, man, when Halliburton hit that shot, the whole garden was stunned, man. That was like, you couldn't believe it. You couldn't draw it up like that, But that was a tough way to go out. Losing your first 2 on the home court kind of put us in the hole. And unfortunately, we weren't able to come back. So hopefully they'll learn from that this year. You gotta take care of home court. You can't let teams come into your building and win those games like that because it's hard to get back into the series.
No, definitely. And I remember where I was at. I was at the Yankee game. I think the Yankees were playing the Royals, if I remember correctly. And the Yankees won on a walk-off. They won on a walk-off home run. And
Same night?
The same night. They won on a walk-off home run. And what happened was they were actually down. And they were down 1 run. So if John and D, I don't know if y'all know this. D, you might know this because you watch baseball, you played baseball. And Greg, you might know. So after you come out of the Yankee Stadium, they got that place. I can't think of the name of the bar, but everybody goes to that bar and hang out after Billy's. Yes, Billy's. They go to Billy's. So we went to Billy's in the 7th inning or the top of the 8th because Yankees ain't gonna win. And it started raining. That was another reason. And I said, I want to watch the Knick game. I want to go watch. I'm already watching on my phone, but I want to go watch the Knick game at Billy's. So we go to Billy's, right? And then it's the fourth quarter. And, then they have the Yankees game on the other screen in there too. So you watching both games. And then crazy thing is Yankees, the walk-off happened a couple of minutes before the Nick Halliburton shot happened. So when the Yankees hit the home run, the not walk-off happened, everybody in the Billies is going crazy, like ridiculous, nuts in there. And then the Halliburton says, all right, everybody's watching the Knicks now. And when the Halliburton shot hit, it felt like the whole place like deflated.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine Suttles, like John. What were you thinking when you were watching that moment when that happened?
Man, I couldn't believe it. First off, I thought he missed. So I was hyped because I thought he missed. But once that ball went up in the sky and then just dropped right back down, I was, oh my God. And from that point on, I already knew that the Knicks was kind of out of it because, as you said, Greg, like trying to get back after going down, well, they went down 2-0, but after that shot, that was a heartbreaker. That was just straight up a heartbreaker, and you can't have that happen in the playoffs. teams are just too good. But yo, that was heartbreaking, man. That was.
John, the overall season with the Knicks, how do you feel about like how they've done? 53 wins, 29 losses. Do you think
So
it was a successful season?
Yes. To answer your question, overall, yes. But I think at this point right now, the New York Knicks have literally become the New York Yankees. And this is not because they made it to the finals or anything, but the expectation for the Knicks is the same as the Yankees. Whenever they go on a losing streak, the sky is falling. When they're beating everybody, they're going to the top. And that's the kind of Jekyll and Hyde team they've been all season. So that's what we're going to have to expect in the playoffs. But overall, yes, it was a great season. It was a great season. Yes, you had your woes, you had your ups, you had your peaks, your valleys. But that's the kind of team that we're going to be looking at. So y'all was like, yo, the heart attack, it's about to be a heart attack in these playoffs. And each one of these series, I don't know if y'all ever watched this, but each one of these series is going to be like a Seinfeld episode. Seinfeld was a show that was based upon nothing. You didn't have to watch one episode to understand what happened in the next episode. And that's how the Knicks playoffs is going to be. Probably going to win by 20, then we're going to lose by 5. Probably going to be up by 15 with 5 minutes and lose the lead with 30 seconds left. It's going to be a wild ride. But I'm here for the ride, man. I'm here for it.
Definitely. D, your predictions, can the Knicks get to the finals?
Can they? Sure. Will they? Different question, different conversation. I mean, there's so many factors that really got to come into that to be able to really determine, how far you make it. Matchups make fights, and I think that's going to be really indicative of how we pull. Obviously, injuries is a part of this. Everyone's going into it in moderately good health across the board. So can we make it? Absolutely. I do believe, and I think we kind of talked about this or touched on this a little bit previously in our previous discussion in terms of Detroit. And I felt like our biggest opportunity was if and only if Mike Brown is holding some cards back. If he hasn't showed everything that he has, and maybe he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve, they're kind of just waiting to unhold and say, oh, I saw something in game 2, even though he was down by 30, but I saw something. They kind of showed, they tipped their hand a little bit. We might be able to put them in this action or be able to switch the coverage to this or whatever the case may be. So I'm hoping and praying for that. But we got to hit that first, we got to get past the first pillar, which is the Hawks can't overlook anybody because obviously it would be a travesty if you go out in round 1. So to answer your question, yes, we certainly can. Will we? Obviously, there's so many factors that go into it. So let's just get this first one out the way and then come talk to me in about 3 weeks.
Definitely. And what you saying that, because I think my theory on this is how Cat plays is how the Knicks are going to be able to successfully excel in this. So Cat's got to be big. Like if he's not big or has some type of impact in these games coming up, then that's why I feel like we're going to have the issue with. The 2-man game that they had, especially when it started with the game against the Hawks last week, that 2-man game between him and Brunson, you see it. Because I was explaining to one of my coworkers one day, who was another Knick fan, that if you do that 2-man game, which a lot of other teams do, either a pick and pop or the pick and roll, if Brunson comes off it, and if the defense is not stopping him, he's going to go and drive to the basket or kick to the corner. If a defender comes on Brunson, and then you pop it to Cat on the top of the key, or if he rolls, then Cat has options to shoot, drive, or kick it to the corner once again. I feel like that play and those certain plays in the mix can work effectively with the Knicks right now. Greg, how do you feel about that? And how you feel about them getting to the finals?
No questions. Your point about the pick and roll, that was something that, speaking to what John said, that seems like something the Knicks were holding back because early in the year they weren't running the 2-man game. So lately they've been running it, and it seems like they may have been working on it in practice because they seem to be running it pretty good. Because when you run the pick and roll properly, it's a play that's very difficult to stop. And between Brunson and Towns, you got 2 skilled players. So between the 2 of them, if they could perfect it, that could be a big weapon for us in the playoffs. As far as us making it to the finals, or winning the championship. It's possible. I mean, we have all the pieces necessary to win the championship. We got a closer. We got a scoring big. We got wing defenders. We got rim protection, Mitchell Robinson. We got guys who can come off the bench. That might be a little bit of the weakest point on the team, but you have a deuce, somebody who could come off the bench. Clarkson can give you some points. So I think we have all the pieces. If we could just bring it all together, and it's all about getting hot at the right time, anything can happen. So I'm definitely hoping that this is the year. 53 years without a championship. It's been a real long journey. So hopefully, they can pull it off because last year down at the Garden, it was electric. Especially like I'm sure you guys saw the videos outside of the Garden
Yeah.
when the fans were celebrating, like when they beat the
They
Celtics.
they had to move them. Didn't they have to move them to the Times Square. They couldn't keep it at the on 33rd and 7th on one. They had to move to Times Square.
Yeah, man. Oh my God. It was like I was like, man, and we didn't even win the championship yet. I'm like, we win the championship, it's gonna
Oh
be
God.
crazy.
So
Oh God. Shut down. They're gonna shut down the city. They have to shut down the city. John, you're on the Knicks winning the NBA finals or getting to the finals, at least getting there.
I already got my travel plans. I've already spoken to you. I already got my travel plans. I already know where I'm staying. When that parade is going down there, I'm driving that night and I'm going. That's what's going to happen. Yes, I believe that the Knicks are going to make it to the finals. Everybody want to really like tiptoe because of the season and everything. I go out there on the limb and I say, yeah, they're going to make the finals. It's going to be a tough road. Not saying that it's going to be easy, but they can and they will make it. It's been little tricklets all throughout the season to give me the evidence that they can make it because when they're playing at their best, can't nobody. I don't see anybody beating them in a 7-game series. The only team that I do see that's going to be a hell of one big challenge is going to be the Pistons. But like D said, I do believe that Mike Brown did see something because you can't continuously get blown out. Y'all are coaches. Kurt, D, y'all are both coaches. Even during blowouts, I know y'all see certain things that you should have done or next time you see them that you're going to improve on. There is no way that Mike Brown gets blown out 3 straight times and he has not figured anything out with this Pistons team. I'll be highly surprised. But will the Knicks make the finals? Yes, I believe so. And I got my travel plans.
I definitely understand that. Yeah, I think the coaching staff definitely, if me, I'm adjusting right away, looking at those 3 games this season, and I'm making sure I'm making those adjustments. And I think it's more of the offensive adjustments than the defensive adjustments because that's where Detroit has been killing us on the defensive end. So hopefully they do that. Hopefully Mike Brown them has a plan because I'm telling you right now, if the Knicks, especially if they don't get out the first round, but if they don't beat whoever's in the second round to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, there are going to be some changes. I definitely know that there's going to be some changes. So,
the second round might be Boston, and if that's the case,
Boston,
I don't know how that's this Hawk series would be a huge, monumental, colossal. Everyone but Brunson gotta go, including Mike Brown. Not got to, but it's on the table. This Hawks, the potential Celtics series coming up. They're out for blood. They want their get back. Tatum is still maybe 85% of the actual Tatum. So you shouldn't lose. You've shown the propensity to be able to beat them. But that team is different. This team is different. So I don't know if I would assume wholesale changes would come specifically off of that. If it did happen, and like if Mike Brown were to go after that, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked. If they lost in the second round and Mike Brown was going, I'd be shocked. But that would open the door for some Greek freaks to start having different conversations, and who knows where that goes.
Yeah, but hey, you got to look at it like this also. I mean, Tibbs, he got them to the conference final last year, and they fired him. They were like, that ain't good enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is championship or bust. I've heard Dolan go on the record and say it. So if they don't win the championship, I'd expect there to be some changes. I think that he's not playing. He thinks that this is the squad. he changed the coach, so that was saying that we had the team, we just didn't have the right coach. So at a minimum, I think they need to get to the finals, or there's going to be some changes.
Now, when you say changes, do you think Mike Brown would be one of those changes, or are we talking about players changes?
I mean, it's hard to say because I know there's the rumors out there with Giannis that we spoke to him over the summer, and it's obvious he wants out of Milwaukee. So, I mean, it could be a shakeup that way. You know, I think it would kind of be unfair in his first year, you know, for Brown to get fired. But I've seen stranger things happen in New York, so nothing is off the table as far as
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
but all those stranger things in the past, that's exactly why we was at the point of not winning for 50-something years, because it was continuous turnover, especially in the 2000s. So, I mean, if you make it to the second round, it's a different circumstances than what it was last year. I don't think that it'll be major changes. Now, depending on how Cat plays and how Bridges will play, yeah, they'll probably start to go after Giannis for the most part. But if you make it to the second round and you lose to the Celtics, you're going to have to run it back. Because if you end up firing the coach or start really moving pieces, then you're going to start to move further away from where you want to be.
Okay. I like this, guys. I like this. This is great. You know, I wish we had more time, but I want to do this again with y'all. You know, maybe in a couple of weeks when the Knicks get to the second round. Is that good with y'all?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. What you got, Greg, in this series? Nick, what you got?
I'm with him. Knicks in 5. That sounds about right.
D?
Yeah, I can flow with that.
I said 6. I was talking to somebody. I said 6. So I'm keeping it generous, but I said I want to be 5, but I'm gonna just say 6 to keep it safe. Yeah. One last thing before we go. All right, and just real quick, give me a quick answer on it. Your all-time favorite Knick. Go, Jeff. Go, D. Sorry.
I mean, we already talked about this. It's Allen Houston for me. The sweetest jump shot we've ever seen in Knick jersey. Allen Houston, simple and plain.
Definitely H2O. John.
And Charlie Ward. You out there, you win the Heisman Trophy, and then you get drafted by picks. Charlie Ward.
That's a pull. That's a pull.
The best quarterback in New York at the time.
That's a pull.
Right. Greg, you.
For me, I'm old school, so I'm gonna go with Bernard King.
Nice.
When I was in high school, Bernard King was the man, and he was a scoring machine. And I remember going to the Garden and seeing him drop 50 in the game, and he was just an unstoppable force, man. So Bernard King, that's my favorite Knick of all time.
Before we go, and y'all don't have to answer this.
Hold on, who's yours, Kurt? You can't just throw that out there and not give us yours. Who's yours?
Mine? Oh, well, mine is D. Yours, who you said.
All right.
Allen Houston. Yeah, I mean, most definitely.
Makes sense. Makes sense. 92 guard. It makes sense. Game recognized game.
Yeah,
real recognized real.
Allen Houston, man. I played like him. I emulated a lot of stuff like him and the other 92 guards like him. Hate to say it, Reggie Miller. Love him, but hate to say it.
Ray Allen. Milwaukee Ray
Allen. Like, I love to shoot the ball, man. So those guys. Yeah, Steve Smith. Yeah, definitely Steve Smith. You know, Dan Marley. Like, a lot of those guys, like, I emulate. I used to watch their game. Like, I would watch it and I'd go outside and imitate what they did. So that was that. So I thank y'all guys for coming on. And again, we're going to come back on a couple of weeks and we're going to talk more when the Knicks get past these Atlanta Hawks. They better get past these Hawks. So, but I thank y'all very much, D, Greg, and Suttles. Stay on as the outro goes. All right, we'll reconvene once the show ends. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And to everybody else who's watching, who's listening, thank you again. You're watching another special edition here on the KSN Podcast. I'm Kurt the Magnificent. Peace, love. You already know. Have a good night, y'all.
Number one